Yo, what's poppin', everybody? How everybody doing today? You already know, like I said, man, we're gonna come back and we got World War history right now. You know what I'm saying? Salute. I rap 152. The five is in the building. Salute. Eli Delgado. Salute. April D. Salute. S.1. Salute. D-Man. Salute. Oh, yeah. S. Dot, you already know. That's my boy right there. DJ Show Brian. Salute. You already know. Trey John Nerva. Salute. Joseph Mangati. Salute. You know what I mean? So today, KO salute in the building. Oh, they pulling up. Felicia Cortez salute. They pulling up. All right, they pulling up. Let's see. They know about this World War history going on today. By the way, I think Maple Syrup got a video coming out later on. He told me about. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all look out for Maple Syrup. He got a joint coming out later on. He's in the makings right now. Ray Leon Rivera, salute. Venezuela Reyes, salute. That's a fact. Spartans in the building. You already know how Spartans do, man. Know what I'm saying? So right now, before I even go into these individuals, and see what y'all really know. Now bigness, everything good. Salute, bro. I want to see if y'all recognize these people. You know what I'm saying? That's a fact. Oh yeah, that's a fact. If you come in the building, make sure you hit that like button, man. Let them know you in the building. Let your presence be known, man. That's basically the punching bag today. The like button, bing. You know what I'm saying? Let that like button know we mean business. We in the building today. You know what I mean? But so the first picture I'm gonna show. Let's see if y'all know who this person is. This is gonna be the first picture. Can they hear me now? Huh? Oh, they can hear me now? All right, so I guess there's something with the audio when you go into the biography, but let me see if I can do it one more time. Hold on a second. Y'all can hear me? Y'all can hear me now? All right. So check it. So basically, Joseph Stalin, 1878 to 1953, was the dictator of the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics from 1929 to 1953. Under Stalin, the Soviet Union was transformed from a peasant society into an industrial and military superpower. However, he ruled by terror, and millions of his own citizens died during his brutal reign. Born into poverty, Stalin became involved in revolutionary politics as well as criminal activities as a young man. After Bolshevik leader Vladimir Lenin, 1870 to 1924, died, Stalin outmaneuvered his rivals for control of the party. Once in power, he collectivized farming and had potential enemies executed or sent to forced labor camps. Stalin aligned with the United States and Britain in World War II, 1939 to 1945, but afterward engaged in an increasingly tense relationship with the West known as the Cold War, 1946 to 1991. After his death, the Soviets initiated a de-Stalinization process. So here's a man who used an interesting war strategy. Not many have been successful with the strategy that he used, but he used a very risky war strategy, but for him it worked. So basically what he did was the generals that was left before him, he murked most of them, if not all of them. I think he only let 2 of them live. Everyone else of them, he murked them all. And then what he did was the same way he was a peasant himself. When he got power, he went and got the peasants, like the same way that he was a peasant, he went and got peasants and gave them positions and trained them on the job like type. Like these were peasants, like they ain't know nothing about all this war stuff that, but he gave them these positions after some training, you know what I'm saying? Which all that was risky, because what he did was he took away the strength that the other ruler had before him in case. You see what I'm saying? And but then look, as their power got bigger, they started to oppress their own people. You didn't see that? Joseph Stalin was costing the lives of his own people. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So on military-wise, he used a very risky, but for his case, successful strategy. Facts, bad content. You see what I'm saying? And as risky as it was, it became successful for him. But then it also became his downfall, once the success, was basically escalated. Interesting. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many people in here have heard of Joseph Stalin? DJ Shook Bryant said he was wiping out his own people, millions of people, a generation wiped out. That dude had a church built, then killed. Huh? They killed the dude that built it so nobody could copy. Oh, okay, Joseph Pena. That's an interesting one there. That's a fact. Interesting one. Let me see. So what they saying is that when Lenin went into exile, that's when Joseph, can they hear me now? Yeah. So basically what they saying is that when Lenin went into exile, that's when Joseph Stalin came in. He became moved up in the party ladder, and in 1922 he became secretly general of the Central Committee of the Communist Party, a role that enabled him to appoint his allies to government jobs and grow a base of political support. So he started mad early. You see what I'm saying? He started mad early. You know what I mean? When Lenin went into exile, he got in there, and from the minute he walked in, he already started to move his way in so he could get to the top. You know what I'm saying? So first he had to spread his ideas. After that, then he had to go and understand the military part of, warfare and all that stuff, because he was going to go in there and do a purge. And by him doing the purge, if he didn't have the dudes that specialize in those different positions, then he would have to learn all those positions while in the midst of war. That's the reason why that was a very risky strategy. And I think maybe him and maybe one other person, I got to really look it up, but I think he's the only one. And I think there was one other person that tried that did it too and was successful. But he's one of the only ones that tried such a risky a risky maneuver to do that. They say the Soviets starting in the late. You can hear me? Okay, so starting in the late 1920s, Joseph Stalin launched a series of 5-year plans intended to transform the Soviet Union from a peasant society into an industrial superpower. His development plan was centered on government control of the economy and included the forced collectivization of Soviet agriculture, in which the government took control of farms. Millions of farmers refused to cooperate with Stalin's orders and were shot or exiled as punishment. The forced cultivation also led to widespread famine across the Soviet Union that killed millions. So now once he became in power, right, and he started to discover how to work the military part of it, he lost the values of his own people. Because what happened is now that he's so focused on trying to be the top, his peoples are suffering. You see what I'm saying? And being that his peoples are suffering, he's not even paying mind to that. He's just up there trying to get to where he got to get to. Now his peoples are starting to die. You see what I'm saying? Now the peoples are starting to die, which, now it gets a little bit more serious. So they said how Joseph Stalin starved millions in the Ukrainian famine. Did you hear what that said? It said he starved millions, yo. That means he had millions of people that he wasn't giving them no food. You don't get down with the program, you don't eat. Salute, Blaze Blaze. You know what I'm saying? Son was a beast, bro. A beast. Beast. You know what I'm saying? Son was a beast. But let's see something. How I want to see something. So now, additionally, let me see. Can you see it? All right. So now check. Now watch this. Additionally, Stalin built a cult of personality around himself in the Soviet Union. Cities were renamed in his honor. Soviet history books were rewritten to give him a more prominent role in the revolution and mythologize other aspects of his life. He was the subject of flattering artwork, literature, and music, and his name became part of the Soviet national anthem. He censored photographs in an attempt to rewrite history, removing former associates executed during his many purges. His government also controlled the Soviet media. So a lot of his associates, he killed them because he stayed doing purges. You know what I'm saying? For those who don't know what a purge is like they come in and they kill the whole baseball team. And they only leave the coach. Now you taking over the coach's spot and you making the coach work for you. Adrian Padilla says, Cat, how important was that move in terms of him keeping his sanity coming where he was coming from? I mean, I believe that he used his vein towards his situation as his strength, but as his strength became more dominant and popular, it also caused his weaknesses to overshadow those strengths. You see what I'm saying? Because if you see what happened to him afterwards, it's like a total opposite of what he was when he first started. You see what I'm saying? Now, it also says So Joseph Stalin did not mellow with age. He prosecuted a reign of terror, purges, executions, exile to labor camps, and persecution into the post-war USSR, suppressing all dissent and anything that smacked of foreign, especially Western influence. He established communist governments throughout Eastern Europe, and in 1949 led the Soviets into the nuclear age by exploding an atomic bomb. In 1950, he gave North Korea communist leader Kim II-sung, 1912 to 1994, permission to invade United States supported South Korea, an event that triggered the Korean War. Now you see how these people had certain influence. You see what I'm saying? A lot of these dudes had influence in other areas, but the influence that they had was the same influence they had in their area, which was destruction to control. You see what I'm saying? So that's the reason. That's how this general here, you know what I'm saying? That was his mentality. That's why he was so brute with it. Now, salute J Styles 7. Salute, bro. Now watch this. This is where you see what the accomplishment is in the end. You know what I'm saying? Watch this. So they say, how did Joseph Stalin die? Stalin, who grew increasingly paranoid in his later years, died on March 5th, 1953 at age 74 after suffering a stroke. His body was embalmed and preserved in Lenin's mausoleum in Moscow's Red Square until 1961, when it was removed and buried near the Kremlin walls as part of the de-Stalinization process initiated by Stalin's successor, Nikita Khrushchev, 1894 to 1971. By some estimates, he was responsible for the deaths of 20 million people during his brutal rule. So he lived to 74, and his body count was over 20 million. So now, look at that. So his body count of his own people is almost matching or more than his enemy. That's crazy. You kill as much of your own people as you killing your enemy in order for that goal for you to be number one. You see what I'm saying? Salute, Amari Flanders. Papa Son, salute, bro. Facts, KO. The dude was a beast, yo. A beast. You see what I'm saying? Dude was a beast. Now check this out. Let me know if y'all know who that is right there. Anybody know who that is? Ah, Iraq got it. Okay. You know what I'm saying? That's fact. Bad content. That's a fact, Pilato. Salute Pilato in the building. You know what I'm saying? That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. Okay. They know. All right. That's a fact. Now, remember, in every faction of an army, they always got to have someone who strategizes in a certain manner. Depending on the situation, these are the people that they send into those situations because of the way they strategize in those conditions. You know what I'm saying? Now, one thing about this person is that someone's nice with it, you heard? Someone's nice with it. Watch this. All right. You can see it. All right, y'all see that right there? Now watch this. Y'all can hear me? So now check this out. Now, as Supreme Commander of Allied Forces in Western Europe during World War II, Dwight D. Eisenhower led the massive invasion of Nazi-occupied Europe that began on D-Day, June 6, 1944. In 1952, leading Republicans convinced Eisenhower, then in command of NATO forces in Europe, to run for president. He won a convincing victory over Democrat Aldi Stevenson and would serve 2 terms in the White House, 1953 to 1961. During his presidency, Eisenhower managed Cold War era tensions with the Soviet Union under the looming threat of nuclear weapons, ended the war in Korea in 1953, and authorized a number of covert anti-communist operations by the CIA around the world. On the home front, where America was enjoying the period of relative prosperity, Eisenhower strengthened Social Security, created the massive new interstate highway system, and maneuvered behind the scenes to discredit the rabid anti-communist Senator Joseph McCarthy. Though popular throughout his administration, he faltered in the protection of civil rights for African Americans by failing to fully enforce the Supreme Court's mandate for the desegregation of schools in Brown versus the Board of Education in 1954. So they said, did you know that at the Potsdam Conference in July 1945, General Eisenhower was among those who opposed the use of the atomic bomb against the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. He argued that Japan was on the verge of surrender already, and that being the first to use such a fearsome new weapon would damage U.S. prestige in the international community just as it had reached its highest point. So what he's saying is that when they went to go drop the bomb, he felt that they shouldn't have did that. That Japan was already going to surrender. So here they made a decision to say we're going to drop this bomb. But here's the general that's on the battlefield. What he's saying is that they was already about to surrender. Basically, he's saying, yo, they was already done. You see what I'm saying? That's what they say. They say they was already done. There was no need to even drop the bomb on them. You see what I'm saying? So when they made that decision, that was a decision that did what? It caused innocent lives, civilians. You know what I'm saying? It caused innocent lives. It caused civilians to die. Because remember, Hiroshima, the whole Hiroshima was wiped out. You see what I'm saying? You know, that's crazy. Like, I say to myself, like, you know, it's interesting how, yeah, they bad content, that's a fact. They dropped 3, but Hiroshima was the one that was wiped out by one itself. You know, and then the damage that it caused, you know, the people, the way they was looking, you know, it was just destruction. You know, but somebody had to make the decision. That's a fact, Iraq. Ooh, that's a fact. Go one. Go one. That's a fact. So far, yes. U.S. is the only one to use that. Joseph Pena, good one too. Joseph Pena said Japan attacked Hawaii because it's the U.S. forces strategically placed first line of defense against Asia, just like Alaska is to Russia. Yep. That's a fact, Iraq. Yeah, they know about all this right here. That's what's up, man. I'm feeling that. I'm feeling that. Dudes are dropping that knowledge. You know what I'm saying? They be knowing. That's why Midway Islands was so important. Yup. KO said he going in with Iraq answer and use Puerto Rico to watch Cuba when Fidel 2 over. Japan was bringing the pain, bro. We some more advanced at the time with the Japanese 0. Yeah, I believe, you know, if you look at it, like, look at now. As it's got biological, other people around the world also are biological. You see what I'm saying? America created concentration camps for the Japanese. Look at that. Look at that. Now, I'm going to show you another picture. Tell me if you know who this is. Bingo. Y'all ready? Now, this was another person who was a very good strategist. But a lot of people didn't really know that when Fidel was coming through, Fidel had drama with other leaders. See, Dwight Eisenhower, who we just spoke of, was very good strategist because he came from a background of military history that made him type impeccable when it came to thinking. Now, Fidel Castro, on the other hand, was not a person that came of great prestige, but he was somebody that went and studied what he was eventually going to do in the future. Watch this. Y'all can hear me? All right, so now check it. Now, they say Cuban leader Fidel Castro, 1926 to 2016, established the first communist state in the Western Hemisphere after leading an overthrow of the military dictatorship of Fulgencio Batista in 1959. He ruled over Cuba for nearly 5 decades until handing off power to his younger brother, Raul, in 2008. Castro's regime was successful in reducing illiteracy, out racism, and improving public health care, but was widely criticized for economic and political freedoms. Castro's Cuba also had a highly antagonistic relationship with the United States, most notably resulting in the Bay of Pigs invasion and the Cuban Missile Crisis. The two nations officially normalized relations in July 2015, ending a trade embargo that had been in place since 1960, when United States-owned businesses in Cuba were nationalized without compensation. Castro died on November 25th, 2016 at 90. So here's a man that he started the first communist state. You see what I'm saying? So the man was very successful. You know, a lot of people didn't like the way the ruling was because it wasn't lavish. But at the end of the day, it wasn't about whether it was lavish. It was about whether it was right. And that man held it down for a lot of years. He went through 2 invasions. You see what I'm saying? 2 times they tried to go and get him, and he held it down. You see what I'm saying? He was in his island, and they tried to go and get him, and all he did was he changed on a suicide mission, and Camilo got murdered in a helicopter. Fidel told him there was an uprising. Yeah, Cuba got the best doctors and everything. And I remember about that too, Joseph Pena. They even said that that was strategic. What do you think about that, Joseph Pena? They said that was strategic. No, now remember when I was telling y'all that him and Trujillo had beef? It was funny because Fidel Castro, he had his island on lock, and Trujillo was a dictator in the DR. And they had their drama. So Fidel will send dudes over there to the DR to try to see if they can assassinate him. And Trujillo wouldn't even let him get far into the woods. They was getting right on the beach. It was crazy. They were trying all types of warfare. They were sending spies and all that. A lot of people just in that little war alone that Trujillo and Castro had, a lot of people died in that little war alone right there. That a lot of people didn't even know. As a fact, Suge Brian, as a whole Snapple fact. They said, did you know, in addition to the Bay of Pigs invasion, the United States made several failed attempts on Fidel Castro's life, including poisoning his cigars with Botox. In 1950, for real, they tried to poison. They tried to poison a man with Botox, man. So imagine that's already what? That's already what? Biological. You see? Biological. When we talking about back in these days. You know what I'm saying? A lot of say U.S. government asked the mob to whack Fidel. Fidel was smart though. He let the mob put casinos. No, the mob actually no. I think he shut them down. He shut down the casinos. That's a fact. Hey yo, Joseph Pena, Joseph Pena. I see Joseph Pena. You better hang on. I got some stuff coming. But you know, here's a man that really went for it and did it. You see what I'm saying? And while he was there, they was going at him with everything. They was trying everything. They was biological. They was sending all kinds of specially trained people in there to try to take him out and all that. And the man ends up dying at 90 years old. At 90 years old. See that? At 90 years old, yo. Now imagine that as a kid. You grow up and you say, I'm going to rule my own island, my own land, my own country. You go and you study, and then you go and you do it. J Style 7 said, that man has strong brujeria. That's a fact, Pilato. Lansky, they had casinos over there. You know what I'm saying? But when Castro came through, you know, Castro started to minimize them, and then he got rid of all of them. That's a fact. Siegel did, but was kicked out when Fidel took over. Yup. All those casinos were shut down once Fidel Castro took over. He felt that, listen, you got them making money off of our land, yet we ain't getting the right we ain't getting the right funding for what we dishing. Facts. Ooh, DJ Shook Bryant. Very well said, DJ Shook Bryant. Said Castro was battle ready. Presidents and world leaders underestimated him because simply he didn't loom the part. Look at him. He looked like a sloppy, unorganized dude, but he was a very intelligent man. Ah, you know what I'm saying? You gotta look. You gotta look at all that, man. That's deep right there. So, um, so Castro in 1960. In 1960, Castro nationalized all U.S.-owned businesses, including all refinery factories and casinos. This prompted the United States to end diplomatic relations and impose a trade embargo that still stands today. Meanwhile, in April 1961, about 1,400 Cuban exiles, trained and funded by the CIA, later landed near the Bay of Pigs with the intent of overthrowing Castro. Their plans ended in disaster. However, partially because a first wave of bombers missed their targets and a second airstrike was called off. Ultimately, more than 100 exiles were killed and nearly everyone else was captured. In December 1962, Castro freed them in exchange for medical supplies and baby food worth about $52 million. Yo, did y'all hear that? The man took people hostage and said, yo, you want these people back? You got to feed my peoples and the babies. We need to eat. See what I'm saying? We need to eat. Look at that. That's a stance right there, man. You know what I mean? That's a stance. That's a stance right there, man. That ain't no joke, man. I ain't even gonna lie. Now I'm gonna show y'all a picture of another person. Let's see if y'all know who this is.
Gail said don't put his pick up there yet.
Y'all ready for this one? Let me see who get this one. I get a feeling one person in here might, but I want to see how many of y'all get this one. This is gonna be funny though. Let me see if they get this one. Who knows who that is, right? There he is. Rayon Rivera got it. Rayon Rivera got it. You heard? Rayon Rivera got it. All right. That's a fact. Hey, your demons. Yeah, that's a fact, JB. That's a fact. Trust me, I'm gonna get to all of them. This is just part one. But yeah, so now that's Leonardo. That's right, Josephina. That's Rafael Leonidas Trujillo. So he was a dictator. Vicious one too. Y'all ready? Now watch this. This dude right here was a beast, yo. Beast. General Mamao Savage. Hey, yo, check this dude right here. Beast. Rafael Trujillo, a dictator who ruled the Dominican Republic for more than 30 years, assumed near absolute control of the Caribbean nation in 1930. While successful in reducing foreign debt, modernizing his country, and fostering greater economic prosperity for the Dominican people, Trujillo and his heinous human rights abuses, including the torture and murder of thousands of civilians, managed to escape rebuke for the international community for decades. So they were saying that someone was a savage for a long time to his peoples, but nobody would say nothing or could say anything, or else they'll be killed. You know, that alone right there is off the meat rack. That's a fact, Adrian Padilla. That is a fact. He said that dude was nasty. He killed thousands of Haitians in one day. Yes, he was like another form of Adolf Hitler. You see what I'm saying? Look. So now watch this. Although his reputation became tarnished after reports of a massacre against an estimated 20,000 Haitians became public in 1937. It wasn't until his failed assassination attempt on Venezuelan President Romulo Betancourt in 1960 that the Organization of American States finally voted to sever relations with the brutal dictator. A year later, Trujillo was killed by a group of rebels determined to topple his regime. In 1930, a group of rebels under the leadership of Rafael Estrella Ureña planned to overthrow Dominican President Horacio Vasquez for disregarding the Constitution by extending his presidential term. General Trujillo, whom Ureña had previously made an arrangement, held his troops back as the revolution unfolded, maintaining his neutrality. With Vasquez in exile and control of the government up for grabs, Trujillo eliminated his political rivals through intimidation or force and won a rigid presidential election in 1930 unchallenged, ushering the era of Trujillo. Within months of taking over the presidency, the capital city of Santo Domingo was virtually destroyed, and some 2,000 people were killed by a powerful hurricane that ripped through the Dominican Republic in early September. Trujillo responded by placing the country under martial law and quickly began to clear the debris and rebuild the city. 6 years later, he renamed the capital Ciudad de Trujillo in his honor, along with thousands of other streets, monuments, and landmarks throughout the country. Hold up. So the man put the country under martial law for 6 years. Woo! He locked the whole country up. Damn. He had the whole country on lockdown for 6 years. Under martial law. Man. You know, that's crazy right there. He said, all right, we're going to repair all this. I'm sentencing the whole country to 6 years. Y'all going to be locked down while we fix everything outside. Whoa. Beast mode. Beast mode, yo. Beast mode. The man locked the whole country down. Shoe time for the whole country. Everybody got sentenced to 6 years shoe time. Man. Facts, Adrian Padilla. KO said we need him here now to get rid of this virus. Yo. But yo, I mean, it's gonna come to that soon, KO. I'm looking at the numbers on that virus, and that thing is getting crazy. But can you believe that? If you notice, the same way Stalin took over when Lenin went into hiding, exile, should I say, Trujillo took over when the other cat went into exile too, because it was up for grabs. Salute Joe Mers. You know what I'm saying? That's type deep right there, yo. But imagine he put the whole country on lockdown for 6 years while he repairs it. Yo, that's beast mode, yo. Beast mode. Man. Despite the fact that he technically ceded the presidency to his brother Hector in 1952 and 1957 and installed Joaquin Balaguer in 1960, Trujillo retained ultimate control over the Dominican Republic for 31 years. The secret police force he established included a widespread network of spies that was used to censor the press and to threaten, expel, torture, or kill dissenters in orchestrated accidents or suicides. Before a definitive border had been established in 1936, disputes between the Dominican Republic and the neighboring country of Haiti had persisted for centuries. Trujillo feared the darkening of Dominican people and publicly promoted anti-Haitian sentiments. In October 1937, in an incident known as the Parsley Massacre, Trujillo ordered the slaughter of an estimated 20,000 Haitians. Punishment for the atrocities amounted to an agreement in which a paltry United States $525,000 was paid to the Haitian government. Damn, yo. Years later, after discovering that the Venezuelan government of President Romulo Bendicar was plotting to undermine his regime, Trujillo retaliated by sending agents to assassinate Bendicar in Caracas with a car bomb. In 1960, the bomb exploded, killing 2 people, but Bendicar survived with injuries. News of the failed assassination attempt infuriated world leaders and prompted the Organization of American States to dissolve diplomatic ties and impose economic sanctions on the Dominican Republic. Meanwhile, underground resistance movements had arisen in opposition to the dictator since the 1940s, but they were often swiftly suppressed, as in the case of the 3 revolutionary Mirabal sisters who were brutally beaten and killed by Trujillo's henchmen in a staged car accident in 1960. On May 30, 1961, however, Rafael Trujillo was ambushed while traveling in his car and gunned down by 7 assassins, some of whom were members of his own armed forces. Following his assassination, the Trujillo family was unable to maintain control over the Dominican Republic, and the capital city of Santo Domingo soon regained its former names. Wow. Son was a beast. Beast, yo. Son was a beast. You know what I'm saying? They had to get him up out of there. Facts, yo. They had to get him up out of there. Oh, Dan, Church Ave Dan up in here. Salute Church Ave Dan. If he's up in here, I ain't see him. Yeah. D Mine said he was good, but he was still in my mouth. Yo, son was a beast, man. You know what I'm saying? A beast. Son was a beast, yo. You know that dude was. They had to get him. But see, they don't tell you. I read the book where it shows you how he came out the whip and all that, and he started busting at them and all that. I think he killed 1 or 2 of them, but they ended up murking him. You know what I'm saying? He went out the same way he came in, man. You know what I'm saying? But now I'm gonna show you another picture of somebody that I really respect his mentality. When I first encountered this book, it was given to me by a businessman. He was locked up for some type of tax or whatever it was. I don't know. But Yeah, something. But I know one thing. Son had some books, and the books that he had, I was kind of interested because I said to myself, oh, like who's that? He's like, oh, this guy was a very prolific military leader, and I was like, for real? And I'm picking up the book and I'm looking at it and I'm saying to myself, like, who's this guy? And he gave me the book, so I sat there and I read it. And as I read it, it took me a minute to read it because the book was type thick, but at the same time, it wasn't a book that you just read straight through. It's a book where you had to take pauses because the book was so high in intelligence. You know what I'm saying? It was deep. Um, Let me see if y'all know who this guy is, though, man. Yeah, man, this is the name. Hold on. Yeah, this one. This one won't say the name. All right, now check this one out. Let me know if y'all know who this is right here. Yeah, now we're gonna get deep. Now we're gonna get deep. You know who that is right there?
Simon.
Who? Let me know if y'all know who that is right there. Araxa Simon, no. Ray Leon Rivera said Napoleon, no. Ooh. Ooh.
Chris Jenner.
Eli Delgado said Columbus, no. Trajan Nerva said Napoleon, no. Both times he said Amy. That's definitely not Amy. His name is Carl von Clausewitz. Carl von Clausewitz. That's his name. Now, I'm going to show y'all something. Okay. So, all right, now check this out. That's a fact, Adrian Padilla. That's the name of the book, On War. Salute Adrian Padilla. He got that one. Yo, Adrian Padilla. Salute. Salute right there. That's a fact. I'm telling you, look. So let's go to the history on this man right here so you can really know who this dude is, man. This dude here. Somebody, I recommend people read that book by him. It's called On War by Carl von Clausewitz. Salute, white boy terrier. It's called On War by Carl von Clausewitz. Check this out. Y'all see him?
Mm-hmm.
Carl von Clausewitz. In full, Carl Philipp Gottlieb von Clausewitz. Born June 1st, 1780. Berg near Mattersburg, Prussia, Germany. Died November 16, 1831. Breslau, Silesia. Persian general and military thinker whose work, Vom Krieg, 1832 on war, has become one of the most respected classics on military strategy. Clausewitz enlisted in the Persian army in 1792, and in 1793 to 95 he took part and was commissioned in the campaigns in the First Coalition against revolutionary France. In 1801 he gained admission into the Institute for Young Officers in Berlin, an event that proved to be a turning point in his life. During his 3 years at the Institute, Clausewitz became the closest protege of Gerard Johann David von Scharnhorst, the Institute's head. The broad curriculum, coupled with Clausewitz's extensive reading, expanded his horizons dramatically. His basic ideas regarding war and his theory were shaped at that time. After finishing first in his class, Clausewitz was the role leading to the century of the political and military events during the French Revolutionary and Napoleonic Wars. The reform of the Prussian army that followed Prussia's defeat and the restoration of European monarchies following the defeat of Napoleon. In 1804, Clausewitz was appointed adjutant to Prince August Ferdinand of Prussia. In the wake of Prussia's catastrophic defeat by Napoleon, he and the prince fell in French captivity. While the Prussian army demolished and the prince captured, Prussia was forced to give up half of its territory in the concluding peace treaty. After their release at the end of 1807, Clausewitz joined a group of young and middle-rank officers around Scharnhorst, who struggled to reform the Prussian army. In the war ministry that formed, headed by Scharnhorst, Clausewitz served as his mentor's assistant. Now, hold on. If you notice, this man was behind the scenes. He was the brain. You see what I'm saying? He's from Prussia. Persia. Was that when Germany was Persia? I think so, yes. Because this is in the 1700s. So you're looking at a man that was so strategic with it that they needed to always protect him. Because once he figured out the scene and knew the strategy, he reinvented the strategy of when Prussia. Oh, it's crazy. So this man's brain was a big factor back then for them. You know what I'm saying? It was a big factor, his brain. It's crazy. Prussia, like Russia. Oh, they got the whole. Let's see. So now, okay, so now they saying in the war ministry that was formed, headed by Clausewitz served as his mentor's assistant and was then simultaneously appointed a major in the general staff, instructor at the new officers' academy, and military tutor to the Prussian crown prince. Like his friends in the reform circle, he looked for an opportunity to wage national war of liberation against France, and he was repeatedly frustrated by the king's hesitation to act against the much superior French power. In 1812, when Prussia was formed to join Napoleon's invasion of Russia, Clausewitz, like some of his comrades, resigned his commission and joined the Russian service. He served in various staff posts, and during the catastrophic French retreat, he was instrumental in generating the chain of events that ultimately drove Prussia to change sides. Clausewitz took part in the final campaigns that brought down Napoleon in 1813 through 1815. During the Waterloo campaign, he served as chief of staff to one of the four Prussian army corps. The man was a military scholar who gave him ideas. So when you want to understand ideals and where ideals come from are formulated. The man, when I read the book, which I believe Adrian Padilla, I think he read it too. If you notice, he took the business concept, applied war strategies to it, and made a book that's basically used. You see what I'm saying? It's basically used in military teachings to this day. You know what I'm saying? This is the guy you really want to read. You want to read that book. You see what I'm saying? You want to read that book. So you want to read that book, and that's a good book on war. You know what I'm saying? When you read that book, then you'll see, he mastered the war of commerce. Yes, fact, Church Abdan, very good. Very good. He made a monopoly out of war strategies where commerce is affected on the positive. You know what I'm saying? Where commerce is affected on the positive. So those people who have start businesses or trying to get a business sense in the way implemented, that's the book to read. And of course, they use that's a fact, Adrian Padilla, very tactical book. That's why he was the brain. You know what I'm saying? That's why he was the brain. Okay. So let's see. Did I get them all? I think I got them all. Yeah, I think I got them all. One more. One more. That's a fact. Tell me if y'all know who this is right here. Yeah, I almost forgot him. I haven't put this one in. Y'all let me know if y'all know who this is right here. This one should be an easy one. This one shouldn't be too hard. Let me know if y'all know who this is right here. Y'all know who that is right there?
Oh, Iraq got it right.
Huh?
Iraq got it.
That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. Genghis Khan.
Checking chin.
Bingo. All right, now watch this. Now watch this right here. So Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan was a Mongol leader, 1162 to
One of the
1227.
most deeply feared
Rose from
historical figures in history that conquered a great part of the world and butchered many, many peoples.
Man, she said he butchered many people, but hold on. Mongol leader Genghis Khan, 1162 to 1227, rose from humble beginnings to establish the largest land empire in history. Y'all saw that? The largest land empire in history. He conquered huge chunks of Central Asia and China. His descendants expanded the empire even further, advancing to such far-off places as Poland, Vietnam, Syria, and Korea. At their peak, the Mongols controlled between 11 and 12 million contiguous square miles, an area about the size of Africa. Many people were slaughtered in the course of Genghis Khan's invasions, but he also granted religious freedom to his subjects, abolished torture, encouraged trade, and created the first international postal system. Genghis Khan died in 1227 during a military campaign against the Chinese kingdom of Xia. His final resting place remains unknown. So they don't even know where they put him at. They kept it a secret. But this man has the largest mass because what he did was as he went and took and destroyed, he took, destroyed and he took and he built. And some was ruthless. I couldn't even get his body count, but as you see, the lady in the video was just about to say that he slaughtered a lot of people, and he did. Facts, Adrian Padilla. Genghis Khan got lineage all around. That's ill. Not too many have accomplished that. See what I'm saying? That's deep. And they was nice with them arrows. They say his archery was off the meat rack. He was able to shoot something from far away and hit it right pinpoint in the middle. Quick, fast, in a hurry. You see what I'm saying? Okay, hold on. I see some questions on them. Tangent later, Genghis Khan was born around 1162 near the border between modern Mongolia and Siberia. Legend holds that he came into the world clutching a blood clot in his right hand. His mother had been kidnapped by his father and forced into marriage. At that time, dozens of nomadic tribes on the Central Asian steppe were constantly fighting and stealing from each other, and life for Temujin was violent and unpredictable. Before he turned 10, his father was poisoned by death by an enemy clan. Temujin's own clan then deserted him, his mother and his 6 siblings, in order to avoid having to feed them. Did you know Mongol leader Genghis Khan never allowed anyone to paint his portrait, sculpt his image, or engrave his likeness on a coin? The first images of him appeared after his death. Going against custom, Temujin put competent allies rather than relatives in key positions and executed the leaders of enemy tribes while incorporating the remaining members into his clan. He ordered that all looting wait until after a complete victory had been won, when he organized his warriors into units of 10 without regard to kin. Though Temujin was an animist, his followers included Christians, Muslims, and Buddhists. By 1205, he had vanquished all rivals, including his former best friend Jamuka. The following year, he called a meeting of representatives from every part of the territory and established a nation similar in size to modern Mongolia. He was also proclaimed Chinggis Khan, which roughly translates to universal ruler, a name that became known in the West as Genghis Khan. Having united the steppe tribes, Genghis Khan ruled over some 1 million people in order to suppress the traditional causes of tribal warfare. He abolished inherited aristocratic titles. He also forbade the selling and kidnapping of women, banned the enslavement of any Mongol, and made livestock theft punishable by death. Moreover, Genghis Khan ordered the adoption of a written system, conducted a regular census, granted diplomatic immunity to foreign ambassadors, and allowed freedom of religion, where before that idea caught on elsewhere. So as you can see, the man was honorable. You know, and one thing you see that he didn't do, he forbade the kidnapping of women. I am the wrath of God. If you wasn't of great sins, God would not cast a punishment like me upon you. That was his saying. That's a fact. That's a fact. On DJ Silk Bryant, they don't know where his body is at. They say that it's unknown. They never told nobody where they buried him at. So that's the way he wanted it. He didn't want nobody to know where he was buried at, where he was dead at. Now, I would have to do more research to see if they ever found his body, but according to what I just read right here, they said they never found it. So it was interesting. So basically, today we went through a couple of world war leaders. People that they was going through their own wars, applied their own different types of strategies, and a lot of them were successful, took a lot of risks. But what you saw is that a lot of people in between died. So the casualty amounted to the same as the enemy. That's not good. You see that ratio right there? You know what I'm saying? That ratio right there, the sacrificing of lives in order for a cause. You know, that's the reason why there's a lot of, how you say it? There's a lot that, people will look at. when it comes to that situation. You know what I mean? The things that these people did to get to where they got to get to cost a lot of people their lives. You know what I'm saying? And the decisions that some of these people had to make also cost people their lives. Not saying we can't, like I said, you see, Genghis Khan, they say he was a ruthless leader. But in the end, his philosophies and principles were more honorable, and they were more of, respecting others. So maybe we're looking at what it took for him to get to where he got to get to, instead of understanding what he was trying to do, and maybe taking a little kind of thought into what he went through to get there. Sometimes we don't see those things. So he might have had to slaughter a bunch of people, because who knows how many people were casualties of war. You see what I'm saying? Salute, Gabe Rodriguez. Salute. You know what I'm saying? So that's a big one right there. That's a big one. Majority of these people came into power because what was there was weakened. So they preyed on the situation and waited till it was weakened so that they could take their advance. Once they came into power, then they took the power collectively. And the power they took collectively was only upon the collective mass of people that was trained to think like them. Everybody else was fooled. Nobody else's lives mattered. That's why when you're in a position of power, it's very important what you're getting that power for, what you're using that power for. A soldier can't go into an army and not know why he's joining forces. See what I'm saying? So, that's basically like the moral of my story today, which was another reason why I wanted to show these generals. I also wanted to show while they were in power, the destruction. I also wanted to show you how some of them, while they was in power, they had to make certain sacrifices and decisions that caused lives. The same way we sit here on quarantine right now, and we have some patented disease that's taking lives. Once this passes, it'll become a moment in history, and then we have to prepare for the next thing. But it's always good to go back and learn about the things of the past, and sometimes try to relate them to the future. Sometimes try to see what happens when one agenda goes from an agenda to a perspective. See what I'm saying? When that agenda becomes a perspective, that's when you really got to see something ain't right. That's a fact, DJ Shook Bryant. All the men we talked about were all poor, all were bullied as kids, and all were considered geniuses. Word. That's a fact, Joseph Pena. That's a fact. They all had similar responsibilities, but their mind frames was all different. That's a fact, Adrian Padilla. Genghis uses biological warfare, or used. Is that the mustard gas? The mustard gas, Iraq 152? Let me see if that's what he's talking about. He might be talking about the mustard gas, because I remember back in them times, they say the mustard gas goes back to all the way back then. Now, so which one was it? Dead bodies? Probably. I know one thing. He did have a lot of. He did have a great body count. Oh, smallpox. Got you. Got you. Got you. They they throw dead bodies over kingdom walls. That's a fact. I mean, you got to remember they had to do that for a reason. Can you imagine that they had to do that for a reason? Can you imagine how, like, when George Washington and all these people was coming, they already knew, man, they what they got to do. So it's done with a reason. Adrian Padilla said they put on the arrows. Oh yes, because that, I forgot what's that called. There's something that's that called when you get on feces in your blood. I forgot what it's called. I definitely forgot what that's called. Grab who?
Septic.
Huh?
Septic? You turn septic?
Yeah, but there's dead animals down drinking wells and rivers.
You get septic. They said from the ship, from the arrows.
Yeah, septic. Yeah, I think that is the word, septic. I think it is septic. But you gotta imagine one thing, man. These dudes had to go through some look. So you had Fidel and Trujillo going to war with each other. You know what I'm saying? You had Stalin going and joining forces. You know what I'm saying? And ultimately, you know, because they went to war with Germany too, I believe. Um, so you had all these people fighting each other as individual to represent a nation, but majority of the body count was not. You understand what I'm saying? You got one individual, so many bodies that's dead, not done by that one individual. So the person had gotten that power. Look, Trujillo put a country on lockdown for 6 years, martial law, just so that he can repair it. You see what I'm saying? Power is something, man. Power is something that we all gotta respect. You see what I'm saying? So that's my jewel of the day, man. And that's the reason why we did that. Now tomorrow we're gonna come back and we're gonna do some more. I got some other ones that we mentioned. But I also want to get into the boxing. You know what I'm saying? I want to see where my boxing fans is at around here. You know what I'm saying? Facts on Iraq 152. You know what I'm saying? So on the next one, we're gonna be doing some boxing. You know what I'm saying? I like to switch it up a little. You know what I'm saying? Today we went military with it. Most of them, everybody knew. Two of them, nobody knew. But now that's two more people that you can sit down and read about, and you can learn other perspectives that may be useful for you in life. You know what I'm saying? But as a fact, we got boxing coming up next. You know what I'm saying? We got boxing coming up next. So, you know, we definitely gonna to hear your grandkid trying to run for president in DR. For real, J Style 7? Oh, that's crazy. Bro, I'll never forgot Carbon Pro. Okay. You know what I'm saying? But we definitely gonna do that boxing coming up next. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna do that boxing coming up next. Um, we also gonna do some you know, I don't know how this with this coronavirus is they even gonna have a baseball season. Um, they might not, right? Because it's already March. We on April 1st. It would have been opening day coming up soon. So I don't know. I don't know about how the baseball season is gonna look. Anybody even hear about what happened to the baseball season? I didn't even hear. You know what I'm saying? Baseball out indefinitely. Wow. Baseball out indefinitely. Yo, this thing is serious, y'all. Suspended. Where it's over for baseball. Man. Adrian Padilla says, Cat, what you into more? Boxing the fighting it? Boxing the training aspect? I actually like both, Adrian Padilla. I actually like both because it wasn't too long ago. I went into a gym. Um I went into a gym through the gloves on, and we was playing a little pity pat in the ring. And I ain't gonna lie, it felt good. You know what I'm saying? It felt good. You know, we was doing pad work, and I was in there with him doing pad work and stuff like that. The third, and it felt good. And I stood there for about a couple of hours, like two hours, 2 hours and some change. I stood in there watching, and I was giving little pointers to some of the heads little young kids that was in there. They're gonna fight Golden Gloves soon, or we're going to fight Golden Gloves soon. I'm giving them pointers, you know what I'm saying? Like stuff that I saw them doing. You know what I mean? So my pops love talking about all the training. I just like the fights. Yeah, no, I like the training too because all my life I followed a boxing type of training. Like right now, I'm getting back into it. I had fell off for a minute because I had hurt my elbow in the slipping on ice. You know what I'm saying? But I'm back at it again. So my main thing is the training, and then I was actually trying to see if they had Golden Gloves open classes, but they don't have them. It only goes up to a certain age or whatever before you can enlist. So, but there's a couple of heads that I know, some young heads. You know what I'm saying, that I've been hollering at to see. They've been asking me, yo, what's good? Then asking me questions. Shout out Below the Belt Boxing. He's always tagging me in all of his joints. He be having some nice. If y'all don't follow on Below the Belt Boxing, y'all gotta check him out. He be having some a lot of clips on boxing fights and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Shooter 93. You know what I'm saying? Check his joint out. He got a joint coming out. Salute Chris Williams. I appreciate you, bro. I'm saying salute Chris Williams. I appreciate you. You know what I mean? He said salute to the real one. It's a fact, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're gonna mix it up a little bit, but I'm definitely looking forward to getting back in the ring. You know what I'm saying? Once this coronavirus stuff is over with, getting back to the ring and what I mean, doing it again because actually I had fun and it felt good, man. See, sometimes I'll be seeing videos that now what, I'm not even, because they're gonna think I'm shooting. I'm just gonna say that, you know what I'm saying, I'll be watching some videos, I saw some videos with these dudes, they drive around looking for dudes to box with and stuff like that. And So they call it boxer against street fighter. I forgot their name. I would put their thing up. You know what I'm saying? But I forgot their name. I be watching them sometimes. They'll go to different neighborhoods or whatever, and they'll put up um, boxer against street fighter. And they had a couple of good episodes. Some went to, I think, Mexico, fought some Mexican dude over there. He went to another spot. They drive around. They go hop on airplanes and all that, and go do little one-on-ones with dudes with gloves on. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's a fact, DJ Suge Brian. Sometimes I go by the lake in the morning, you know what I'm saying? Do my little shadow boxing, or I do it in the crib, get up in the morning as a stretch, you know? Play with it a little bit. You see that dude, Michael Jai White, that man can still turn around and twist a cap off a bottle without breaking it or knock it down. Did y'all see that? With Michael Jai White? What's that name? What's his name? Jason Statham.
Yes.
He did it also. I don't know if y'all saw that. The dude does a roundhouse kick, takes the cap off the bottle. Adrian Padilla said he an overgrown ninja. I was just watching a movie with him last night, Undisputed. But son could right now, he could roundhouse and twist. 35 is the cutoff age for Golden Glove. Yeah, DJ Suge Bryant. Yeah, it's a cutoff. You know what I'm saying? It would have been nice, you know what I'm saying, to do it again. I mean, that's what was on my mind. I was thinking about doing it again. He don't look like he could do that. I'm telling you, bro. Just put it in there, query it. Put on Michael Jai White twists his bottle cap. Facts. He twisted that bottle cap, no lie. But you got to put the one with Jason Statham. Jason Statham, he also did it. Bro's nice. I ain't gonna lie, son is nice, man. Above age 35, they have masters boxing, no age limit. Where's that at? I don't think they got that in New York. Because I saw that some states had it, but New York was strict with it. Jason Statham is a cool dude. I met him a few times. He always had a beautiful girl on his arm. Word. Son is nice, man. Gabe Rodriguez said he a beast for real. Yeah, he a beast, yo. I'm telling you. Them two right there. The only person I ain't see do that bottle cap joint was Jet Li. You notice that? Jet Li ain't do it. Jackie Chan ain't do it. The only two people I seen do it, and I think I saw some other dudes that I never even knew who they was. Jason Statham chill with Wu-Tang. They shot him out and protect your neck. Oh, okay. Facts, DJ Suge Bryant. Jet Li sick. Jay Styles, salute, Jay Styles. Appreciate you, bro. Salute, Jay Styles. You already know, man. I got us, man. I know we quarantined and I know things is going on. Venezuela Ray said, do you know Simeon Bolivar was the only person to slave his revolution? Simon Bolivar. Yeah. He ages rapidly. Who's that?
Jet Li. He said he was old now.
Oh. Jet Li look old as hell now. Oh, yeah. I mean, but I don't understand. Yeah, twist of a metal cap. Yeah, beer cap. Let me see something. I'm gonna show y'all. Y'all think it's a game? Hold on. Oh yeah, that's the first thing that comes up. Y'all ready? Watch this. Y'all see him, right? Watch this.
Push play.
Yo, did y'all see that? Look, look. That's just for real. You know what I'm saying? Hold up, hold up. Hold up, hold up. Now watch this. Hold up a second. Ah! Yo, did y'all see that? He was on the treadmill, came off the treadmill, kicked the top off, and went back on the treadmill like, yo, this ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? Serious, yo. Serious. You know what I'm saying? That was on Michael Jai White. He did the same thing. Yeah, he's a beast for real. That's a fact. Oh, Iraq 52 said Michael John White official. My school sparred against his. Mm. Mm. All right, all right. Well, it's time for me to conclude this session. You know what I'm saying? Um, salute to everybody that came through. You know what I'm saying? Salute, salute. CC in the building, salute. You know what I'm saying? And today we had a great one today, man. Because today we learned a lot. Make sure y'all read up on these people. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to strategizing, you know what I'm saying? It's good to know. But also remember how many people were sacrificed in the regimes that these people created for their own personal agendas, man. You know what I'm saying? With that,
Should do shout outs.
so what I'm gonna do is before we go, I'm gonna let everybody represent where they come from. So I ain't did that in a minute. You know what I'm saying? So gotta be ready for that stuff because I have to have the music for it. Hold on.